This is how to change out the fuel filter on a 2003 Volkswagen Passat. What you're going to need is fuel filter. You're going to need hose clamps. These ones are size 5/16 to 5/8, or basically 8mm to 16mm. And you're going to need a 10mm socket and a wrench. And to get the rest of this plastic cladding off, see the fuel filter's right there. So you're going to need the 10mm for that nut, and the nut up in there, right there. And then you're going to need a Phillips screwdriver for the screw that I dropped. Normally right there, you just use a Phillips, take that one out, just to get this down. And you got two nuts on the other side. Really simple. So just take these nuts off. Don't drop them like I did. Now these are not going to be finger tight. I've already used my wrench to loosen them up. But after those three are out, you really don't need to take that one out unless you really feel like it. If you don't have access to a lift and you're using the wheel lift ramp things, then you are going to want to take that out. But I have access to a lift, and it makes life a lot easier. So in here, these are also 10mm for the bracket. Undo that bracket. Alright. And then you're also going to need pliers. I'm going to end up using a diagonal cutter to get those original OEM hose clamps off, because you can try to reuse them, but my experience, they do not, they don't really work that great after you try to reuse them. So undo this bracket here. It's got a little spring to it, so you're going to need two hands putting them back together. Putting it back together is going to be the reverse of that. Alright, so in the pliers, you're going to end up grabbing these and trying to cut them, but you don't want to break the lines here. You got to be careful. It's definitely a lot easier to do it two-handed, but alright, so that one's broken. And then since this is a fuel line, you're not going to want to end up having any open flame or anything. I put my cigarette out. That bracket out. Video quality here. There. Alright. So both of those clamps are now broken off, and they should be loose enough. Yep. So after you get that little nub cut off, you should be able to pry these apart. And if you're afraid to get dirty, then obviously bring it to your local mechanic. But I assume since you're watching this video, you're a do-it-yourselfer like me, and you'd rather not pay the mechanic $60 or whatever in labor. So this is the OEM fuel filter. And here's my replacement. So you got your flow arrows on the stock one. Match it up to your flow arrow on that on your replacement. Now this is a two-handed job, so you're not going to be able to watch me do it, but pretty simple. You pull hoses off either side. You're going to have dripping down, so if you don't have a catch can like I don't, I really don't care, it's going to evaporate. Hey, and you're doing it in your grass, it's going to kill the grass. So if you don't want to die, your grass to die, or you're doing it in your driveway and you have asphalt, it'll eat away at the asphalt. Alright, so here's a quick recap. Got the new filter in, put both bolts in, got the new hardware hose clamps in, tighten them down. The last thing to go up is this plastic cover. So then you got two nuts that go on. Quick recap of the tools you're going to need. You're going to need a fuel filter. That's the old one. I've already replaced it. It's already in the car. You need hose clamps to replace your stock ones, which are crimp style. The ones I grabbed are 8mm to 16mm or 5/16 to 5/8 diameter. You need 10mm wrench, Phillips screwdriver for the one screw that's on the bottom of the shield. You're going to need the pliers. I prefer the diagonal cutters. And then for my hose clamps, I ended up using a flathead screwdriver. So simple tools, really simple disassembly and reassembly, and that's it. This is a 2003 1.8 liter turbo Volkswagen Passat, and I believe the V6 2.8 and the 4 liter W8 all-wheel drive are exactly the same. And then the year ranges, I believe, are 2003 to 2005. I don't know about the B5s or the B6s or the B4s. This is a B5.5 for the body style. But there you go. Fuel filter replacement. Quick and easy. Alright, one more thing I want to add to the video. Because I did drain out some fuel when I dropped that filter. You're going to want to cycle your key a couple times. Just to get that fuel up to the motor. Four or 5 times. It works good. I don't know. There we go. And yes, I do have a check engine light on. So stay tuned, I'll probably be doing a quick tune-up video after this.